Good morning, everyone. Uh, His Excellencies, dear guests, all participants, and all protocol is observed. Thank you, Miriam. I'm really very happy to be here today in person in Cape Town. Thanks, Informa, for inviting me to give this speech and to talk about inclusion in Africa and the Middle East. I'm very happy to be here today because in 2021, your organization designated me as the CEO of the Year when I was in Orange, Mali. But unfortunately, I couldn't make the trip. So, yes, unfortunately. But today I'm here. I'm very glad to be here with you all and to talk about inclusion. And I remember those years in Orange, Mali, where my team and I were busy trying during this pandemic to open as many Orange Money accounts as we could and to roll out fixed broadband services as fast as we can, because we didn't want to add a lack to another lack for the populations, because if they didn't have mobile money, they could not receive the grants from the NGO. If they didn't have fixed broadband services, they could not work from home or study from home. At Orange, Middle East and Africa, we're serving 146 million customers across the continent, and with 18,000 staff, we're living this very unique moment where digital is accelerating in Africa. You know, you all know the numbers. His Excellency, the Minister, gave the figures on how digital infrastructures is progressing across the continent. And however, we still have inequalities between landlocked countries like Mali and the others. And even within a country, we have discrepancies between urban areas and rural areas, and between men and women, or educated or non-educated, that less to be less addressed. And that's why we have in our purpose to drive inclusion for all. It is embedded in our purpose, and what I'm sending here today, it's also on behalf of all my colleagues here. Inclusion is, for us, a matter of men and women who need to be trained and enabled not to be just consumers of the digital economy, but to be the authors and the players of these digital transformations. And that's this vision that we are striving to implement day by day across the continent. And I invite you to see this video that reflects it. Connectivity is the starting point for inclusion, and we're backing this ambition with more than €1 billion invested in our footprint every year. This allows us to roll out new networks, develop infrastructures, as mentioned by His Excellency. This is very important. When we look at the fiber, we have reached the milestone of 1 million customers using fiber in our 18 countries. And also, we have almost 80% of the populations in the areas where we are who are covered by mobile broadband. But connectivity is not enough. When we look at the latest GSMA report, it stated clearly that 60% of all Africans are connected by mobile broadband, but they are not using mobile internet. And that's why we are complementing our core offer with a genuine and comprehensive multi-service offering. Our goal is to have 100% connected people across our geographies, but also tackling the usage gap, coming with offerings that really address all the people's life, be it how to work, to communicate, and to secure their finance. Let me illustrate it by the first example on Orange Money. Mobile money services are the primary need for many Africans to secure their payments, and we have shifted from storing the tickets, the notes everywhere, to putting it safely in the wallets. So far, we have 80 million of our customers that are using Orange Money to do transfers and also to do payments. But we're expanding all the services that are available with Orange Money. In Ivory Coast, we have launched the offer called Ocalm that enables 30,000 SMEs to have payment services, and they can have their payments safely in their wallets. And with this success, we have even tapped the loans and savings, and we have launched Orange Bank Africa back in 2020 that allows customers to have loans and services, especially the SMEs. And as we speak, we have reached the milestone of 1 million customers that are using this. Orange Money is playing a key role in this financial inclusion. But our commitments in inclusion don't stop with finance. It is also on the energetical side. Let me introduce to you Sébastien Kofi. Sébastien Kofi is a young Ivorian whose dream was to be a hairdresser. But in his village in Divo, 3 hours driving from Abidjan, he could not have access to this grid electricity. But thanks to the solar kits that we provide, now he has been able to launch his successful business, and he has moved from 200 CFA income per day to 10,000 a day. Access to electricity that is affordable and also green is a must to develop modern economy. And thanks to our offer on Orange Energy, thousands of people like Sébastien Kofi has been able to launch their businesses. Very recently, we have also launched a partnership with Coolbox, which is a company that provides refrigerators and also mini-grids. And with our solutions that is based on the mobile money and the smartphone, many SMEs can have even more businesses using refrigerators to store all the goods. Orange Energy is also a way for us to include people. So scaling platforms like payments and energy for us are a key way to drive inclusions. But in order to let this Sébastien or people like him to drive this inclusion, we need to train them. And that's how I will introduce the ODC. And from Ivory Coast, I'll come to Senegal and talk about AGI. AGI is a vector of digital inclusion and an essential link in the virtuous circle that Orange Middle East and Africa is striving to create. This young lady develops social impact projects aimed at improving the digital skills of women who have dropped out of school or who are looking for better employability. By learning how to use digital tools, they open a whole new world of inclusion, whether financial with solutions like Orange Money or Energy. Orange AGI created Digital NISA, which is a solution that help women that dropped out of school to learn how to code. In 2023, she won Orange's prestigious Hello Women Award, which aims at promoting gender diversity in technical and in digital professions. Like Digital NISA, over 226 startups have been supported by our ODC. Indeed, undoubtedly, training people is for us the best way that we have to accelerate inclusion. And the concept of ODC is quite unique because it brings in one place all the programs that we have to support youth and employability. So far, we have launched 16 ODC, not only in Africa, but also in Europe. And with the German cooperation between private and public, we have financed 13 of this ODC. We have reached the milestone of 1 million people that have been trained to coding, and we also have in these ODCs accelerators to support and to finance startups. What if, with our joint efforts, it's not 1 million, but 10 million a year that we can train, knowing that in the next decades, every year, we will have 30 or 40 million young Africans coming into the job market. This is really our vision, to enable people to be qualified in all the digital technologies and then be able to come with relevant services for the communities. That's why we have included inclusion in the cornerstone of the strategy of Orange. And we think that as an operator, our role is not only to be an economic partner, but also to drive inclusion and train people. When I arrived in Cape Town on Sunday, my driver took me to Six Factory, and we went through Wittekant Road that separates basically this area, Factory 6, and the city. And it's right there at City Hall that the founder of this nation, the father of this nation, Nelson Mandela, gave two speeches that went down to history. The first in Feb 11, 1990, when he was released from prison. And the second in May the 10th, 1994, when he became president of the South African Democratic Republic. In this second speech, he said, "We are both humbled and elevated by the honor and privilege that you, the people of South Africa, have bestowed on us, as the first president of United Democratic Non-Racial and Non-Sexist South Africa, to lead our country out of the valley of darkness. We understand it still that there is no easy road to freedom. We know it well that none of us acting alone can achieve success. We must therefore act as a united people for national reconciliation, for nation building, for the birth of the new world. Let there be justice for all. Let there be peace for all. Let there be work, bread, water, and salt for all." Ladies and gentlemen, I'm inviting you to follow the vision, the commitment, and also legacy of our dear leaders and founders, to invest in infrastructures, scale platforms, and above all, train millions of young Africans that will come with new digital services. Let there be digital for all. Thank you.